Well, good morning, everybody. This is Don from Wizard Tower Games. And in my last video with author Stephen Lake, we talked about AI. And I have talked about AI before and um, how we're not fond of it. And the reason why we're not fond of it is because so many regular authors and artists' work are stolen and used in it. And I've had a few people come forward and went, no, that's not how it's done, Don. You know, well, something happened this morning that I seen, and I'm going to talk about Dragonlance Chronicles, Dragonlance Legends, mainly Margaret Weis. Margaret Weis, for those of you who do not know much about fantasy, is a fantasy author, and she is a co-writer of one of the greatest fantasy world settings ever created, and in my humble opinion, some of the greatest fantasy writing ever written. Now, this is what Margaret said on social media this morning. She said, I found out that almost all my books have been fed into AI without my permission on something called Books 3. This also happened to an author named Troy Denning and other authors. This not only infringes on our rights, but also IPs such as Dragonlance and Star Wars. Corporate legals will go after this, but I worry about authors whose books have been stolen that don't have massive corporations behind them. Margaret nailed it. Margaret Weis nailed it on the head. Not only was her books taken, her works, just arbitrarily. Why? And see, this is the problem with AI. It is such a wild west out there. You know, yeah, there's websites that say this is how we do it. But to be totally blunt, do we really believe them? I mean, do we really believe them in all of this? Things like this kind of cement more of the counter argument that I use, and that is, number one, you can't believe what they say. I mean, I'm sorry, but they cannot control even what their people do. And these AI manufacturers, for lack of a better word, these AI programmers or whatever, AI companies, they want famous people's works because what they want is they want you, the average user, to get something back that you're fondly familiar with. And the way to do that is to grab imagery that you're fondly familiar with, well-known artists, or grab well-known authors' works. And, you know, in my last video with Steve, my friend, you know, I'm an author also, and I have written a lot of books. And for those of you who do not know what it's like to write a book, and friends of mine like Paulie Kidd can confirm this concrete, hands down, and so can Steve. And that is, it takes a lot of work to write a book. I mean, you're holding in your hands something that's, 250 pages, and you may look at it and go, oh, I could do that. Or you may even see something 700-800 pages and go, I could write that. What's the big deal? It's just writing words down. No, it's really hard work. And some of these books that we write take years. And what right does someone have just to take that from us and start using it? I mean, it's not right. It would be the same thing. Think of it this way. If your wife, girlfriend, or mother, or boyfriend, husband, or father have a garden in your backyard, and you have been working on that garden all summer long in the 98-degree heat and busting your ass to do it, and I'm your neighbor, and I just one day walk in your backyard with a bucket, and I just start picking vegetables, and you walk out and go, what the hell are you doing, Don? And I say, well, I want me some vegetables. And you go, this is, I did all this work. You ain't taking my vegetables. And I say, yes, I am. And I just do it. Is that fair of me? No, it's violation. It's a violation of your personal property because I entered upon it. And when you take an author's work and you just arbitrarily use what's in it because you can, you're intruding upon their property. You're taking their stuff. That's why they call it intellectual property, because It's not physical property, it's intellectual. And the internet, one of the problems with the internet has given far too many people the impression that they can just Google it and take it because it looks cool or it suits their need. And or these other companies that just simply arbitrarily take other people's hard work. And again, I'll defer to authors like Polly Kidd and other people in the industry. Jim Wampler, who draws Marvin the Mage, and such. Jim's another one. Should I just simply grab Marvin the Mage and just use Marvin the Mage? And Jim gets mad and say, "Sorry, Jim. I know it takes you hours upon hours upon hours and weeks and months to think about the storyline and draw him up. I like him. I'll just use him." No, that's not how this works. So now we have a well-known author who's credible. Margaret Weis does not lie. Margaret Weis does not get online and start trouble and lie. She has no reason to BS about this. I'll tell you what, I believe her. And here this company comes. And what do? They just take all of her books. Dragonlance series, why not? Why? Because they can. And that's the problem with AI. I don't have a problem with AI if it does as most people claim it does, or the proponents of AI say how it works. I have no problem if it happens that way, but it doesn't. And by and large, it doesn't. I'll put it that way. And there's so much room for unscrupulous players out there to just go out there and start doing stuff like this. And people who put hard work, their blood, sweat, and tears into their works, and just to have it taken like this isn't right. Love to have your opinions. Love to have your thoughts, Margaret. Sorry to hear this. I really am. As a co-author, not a co-author, but as a fellow author and as a game publisher, I really am sorry to hear that this happened to you. And I frankly hope your legal team buries this company under a server on the internet. I mean, I really hope that you really just go after them. Your legal team does. But you're right. You're lucky. You have some power behind you because you're a well-known author, but so many authors don't. And what do? Send them a CND. They know who you are. They know you don't have the huge bucks it takes, the huge hundreds of thousands of dollars it takes to battle in court like this. Why? Because also the courts have made it almost impossible for the little guy to defend himself. And that's another video and another story. So this is Don, Wizard Tower Games. Happy Monday. Hope everybody has a good week. Website is going live. I'm hoping today. I have been working my butt off all weekend long trying to get this website. The connections, we're literally down to putting the trim on the doors, so to speak. So we're almost there. Hope everybody has a good day.